Well, we're on the verge of another enthralling Inter-Dominion Carnival, this time staged at Albion Park. Of course, the big guns, Don Hugo and Leap to Fame. So I took this opportunity to catch up with Mr. Inter-Dominion himself, Brian Hancock. Well, Brian, good to catch up with you as always. Fond memories of those colours behind you.
Yeah, they are, I suppose. Yeah, they're all wore out now.
Brian, as I mentioned, the Inter-Dominion campaign rapidly approaching once again. Leap to Fame and Don Hugo will certainly be the two big guns and the ones to beat.
Yeah, it looks like that way, Mick. Inter-Dominion turns up a lot of funny things, but I don't think Swayze's going. I think he's out. But it'll be still a good carnival. They'll still come for it. I don't know whether any Kiwis are coming or not, but he looks to stand out, Leaps to Fame. But he does frighten some horses away too. So let's hope not.
Not going to ask you to compare the modern day champions with those of the past, Brian, but as far as your Inter-Dominion experience, is there one in particular that stands out?
Oh, not really. Those are all great carnivals. They start off and I've had horses go rate in 35 there and come out and end up in the grand final. So it always turns out good and something turns up. Horses sort of go better in the free runs, get better with it, and the advantage to Leap for Fame is on his home track, so he'll have an advantage there. But draws are funny and all this sort of thing. People do funny things in grand finals and all those sort of things, but they've got to make the grand final too. So it's a work of art getting into the grand final. And
you love that tradition of the three heats into the grand final.
None better. I think that's all on the one track. I think it's a great idea, and people can put their holidays around and get people there. So let's hope it turns out a great carnival for them.
Of course, it's a test of the horse and also a test of the trainers' skills.
Trainers, drivers, owners, they all get a bit involved in it. It's a great carnival in the Dominion. I think it's just I think every state should have it, but they don't these days. But it'll work out good.
Here with your nephew Darren, who's got a couple of horses today. One's already gone around by the name of Sports. Look, a very nice second to Will I Am.
Yeah, it went nice filly. She Darren and Bonita owned it, so it's a nice filly. It's a second start here, and a horse has won a few races, beat her. So, but no, she'll turn into a nice filly. The
upcoming event is race 5. There's a horse also Darren's got going called Fasting, a beautifully named 3-year-old colt by Stay Hungry, and there's an intriguing story behind this fella.
Yeah, there is a little bit. I just sort of didn't realise, but I raced his mother, I raced his grandmother, I raced his great-grandmother, I raced I think the 5 generations all won, all the mares in the first generation of the horse won, which is Teeny Render's in the bottom, of course. So her mother won a race, so it's a 6. So, it's an intriguing thing. He's a nice colt, he's just doing a nice little job.
Racing all those generations, that story behind says you were born on the 1st of the 1st, 1948. You sure that's correct? You might be going back a bit further.
No, I don't think so. It's all gone that quick, Mick, to tell you the truth. I just can't believe how quick it's gone. But in saying that, I've had a great go at it. I've had a great, kept me health. I've had a few buses here and there, but everything's pretty good. And I'm living a pretty nice lifestyle down the south coast now. And it's a bit boring at times, but I try and get 10 Ks a day and walking and that sort of thing. And I go to Darren's a couple of times a week, which is good, and he's been really good. So I've enjoyed it. Yeah, but it's been a great business to me over the years, and I still love it. I still watch the trots here and there, but not like I used to. But I'd like to see it going a lot better, to tell you the truth. But that's life.
And Darren's certainly excited about his new property.
Yeah, he's done a good job with it. He's done what he wants to do. He's done a real good thing, and it's a bit hard for Darren at this stage because he's out by himself now, and there's sort of not a lot of people around him at this stage. But he'll kick up again. He'll have a good time. He'll have a good 12 months off, and he'll come back bigger and stronger than ever, I think. So he's enjoying it.
Just going back to those Inter-Dominions, Brian, just skipped over a point I wanted to make with you. Do you think there was more depth? There's more outstanding horses in those particular periods?
Yeah, I think so. A lot more depth. You take a horse. Like you had the Koala Kings and the Pale Faces, and you had then the Gamalites come on, the good horses like in the Vinny Knight era. We had good horses, and I had the Thorate era. That was all good horse. You couldn't pick the winner really. Then the Christian Coloured era, House of Ancelot era, that all come along, and there was sort of 5 or 6 or nearly 10 good horses, and it's just it has dropped off a bit, I think, that way. But in due respect to that, it's still a great race.
Oh, it's still the race that most of the trainers want to win. It was good to see you and your old sparring partner or your old training mate, driver of the last century, we've got to say now, Howard James, over in the stalls.
Yeah, Howard was there. Yeah, he's still got a trotter poking around it too, so he was the driver of the century, that's all gone now. But no, I think Howard's doing a pretty good job, yeah. Having
a chat about you, I said, that's one thing you got over Brian, Howard. You did have a driver of the century, your boss didn't.
Yeah, I ran third, so I told him how to drive it, but...
What a good fella.
Yeah, I did that. No, he's done a good job with him, and and even with House of Ancelotti won a Miracle Mile. Mate, you've done a good job, Howard. Yeah,
As always, good to catch up with you, Brian.
thanks, pal. Good.